Welcome to this programming tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to use Small Basic. Small Basic is a programming language developed by Microsoft. Think of a programming language like country languages. When you go to Spain, you speak Spanish. When you go to England, you speak English, and so on. Programming works in a similar way, where each language represents something else that it can do. For example, C# you can use to build games, or you can use HTML to build websites. And Small Basic will help you draw turtles. To get started, let's search for Small Basic. The first link will take you to the Small Basics webpage. And you know you've done it right because you've got the Microsoft Small Basic logo up here and two turtles over here in a green background. To get started, I'm not going to click on download, but I'm going to click on Start Coding Online. This might take a little while to load, so to speed things up, I've already opened it up here. Now, this screen looks a bit confusing, so let's break it down. On the side here, we've got a whole bunch of buttons that we will not talk about in this lesson. We've got a Create a New Coding Page button, a Save button, Undo and Redo, and we've got a Run button over here. For now, we're going to ignore the Debug button. So how do we get started coding? To get started, what I'm going to do is click the Run button. As you can see, this runs my program, but because my program has nothing in it, all it says is program has ended. This black space here is my text window. Let's go back. If I wanted to output or put something on my text window, I would first have to reference it. In other words, type in text window. And as you can see, as I start typing, it'll automatically fill it in for me. Next up, I need to actually do something on the text window. To do something to the text window, I put a full stop. And as you can see, I can do a lot of different things to the text window. For now, I'm just going to write a line to the text window over here. I can write anything I want as long as it's in speech marks. Let's type in Hello World. So notice we are saying that we want to do something to the text window. The dot means do something. And we're going to write a line to the text window. Let's run my program. As you can see, I now get Hello World outputted to screen. Let's go back. It's important to remember that programming reads from top to bottom. In other words, if I write text window over here as well, and I write another line, let's say hi there, and I run my program, you're going to see it output it line by line. There you go. It first does Hello World, and then it outputs hi there. It's important to remember that programming reads from top to bottom, much like a cake recipe. Now, what happens if I wanted to add things together? I can actually create a calculator program in this program. Let's have a look at how we do that. First and foremost, what I'm going to do is get rid of the text here. And I'm going to write a number. Let's write 10. Notice I'm not putting this 10 in speech marks. That is because I wanted to react differently. When we use speech marks, it comes out as text. When we use numbers, it acts like numbers would in maths. Let's put a little plus symbol next to it, and let's add another 10. If I did this correctly, I should get the answer 20. Let's go to the Run button, and as you can see, I get the answer 20. So you could actually build a little calculator program inside my own program. Now the issue here is that I might not always want to do 10 plus 10. What if I wanted to do a different number? I can specify what number I want by using variables. So now we need to know what a variable is. Think of a variable like a suitcase. When you go to another country, you put all your belongings inside a suitcase and you take that suitcase with you on the plane. Sometimes you'll write your name on the suitcase as well to identify that it belongs to you. This is what a variable is. It's a container that will store information or store data and will let you change it whenever you want. let's go right above the text window command, and let's create a variable. To create a variable, first we have to give it a name. You can give it whatever name you want as long as you don't use spaces between them. It all has to be together. Let's call this number_1 because we're going to be storing a number inside this variable. I'm going to put an equal sign next to that, and we're going to make it equal to 10. Now 10 is stored inside number 1. Let's create another one, call it number 2, and make that equal 5. Now the variable number 2 equals 5. And instead of having 10 plus 10 here, let's do number 1 plus number 2. Now I can enter my numbers up here, and it'll automatically know that number 1 is 10 and number 2 is 5. If I run the program, you can see I get 15. Now, this still isn't very good, because I'm still having to write the numbers over here. But you can actually ask the user to enter their own numbers, and they can store it inside this variable. Now, how do we do that? Really simple. We tell the program that we want to affect the text window, and we want to do something to that text window, and what we want to do is we want to read from the text window. Let's do this to both of these numbers. Now, if I click the Run button, as you can see, I've got this flashing little cursor icon here. That's going to ask me to enter something. So, I can enter the number, 10, press Enter, I can enter another number, 20, and when I press Enter, it'll add them together, which will make 30. You can do this for anything. For example, let's say I wanted to enter my name as well. I might create text window dot writeLine, enter a number, enter your name. Then I need to store it in a variable, so let's call this variable name, since I'm going to store my name in it, and that's going to equal text window dot read. That will read my name that I enter. And let's now go over here, and we're going to add a little bit of text before we add the numbers. So let's say name plus these numbers equal to plus the numbers. This will get whatever's stored inside my name, add it to this little text here saying these numbers equal to, and then it will add the two numbers together. Let's see that running. I'll enter my name here. I'll enter the first number. I'll enter my second number. And as you can see, it outputs all the variables together. However, it's actually added 10, 15 over here, which is a bit weird. It's put this number next to this number instead of adding them. Now, why is that? This is because I am mixing numbers with text inside speech marks. To fix this, I'm going to put the numbers inside their own little brackets. That way, my program knows that these are just numbers and should not be text like this is. Let's see what happens now. I'll enter the same data. So we'll call it 10, 15. As you can see, it now treats them like numbers instead of text, and it outputs the correct answer. Let's go back. Last thing I want to show you is how variables change. If I go underneath here and I type in name equals Jack, and I write text window dot writeLine name, we're going to see something very unusual happen. If I get the Run button going and we enter a name, I'll enter Mr. McAuliffe again. We'll enter 2 plus 2 this time. Notice The first time the variable appears is Mr. McAuliffe, but then after this line I change it to Jack and it actually does output Jack. This is a way to show you that your variables can be changed throughout the program. Just remember, it reads from top all the way to the bottom. Also keep in mind that whenever you want numbers to act like numbers, you always have to put them in brackets like this, unless they're by themselves. By that, I mean unless they are by themselves like this. Anytime you mix numbers with text, and you can tell it's text because it's in speech marks, that means everything will be put next to each other and no math calculations will be done. Have a go at coding yourself. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching.